really want to find this for you guys to see. Let me look up the stack shoot. Overtime, labor, MN, stack shoot. Let me see if I can find what it is. 177.3. That's what I might have used. I said it was what? 177.23. I'm telling you, when you hit them with them laws, yeah, baby. This is the one. What is this email called? Any update on the unpaid hours? November 6th, I asked them again. So yeah, we gonna get into the nuts and gravy right here. I'm telling y'all, I don't play. I don't play. I don't play, y'all. I really do this. So look, they kept ignoring me. They kept playing games, and I said, okay, they're wearing my patience. And I had all the documents showing that there's 312 hours that y'all got me under what the recruiting agency was supposed to do, but there's 400 and something hours here that y'all done billed for. You're not gonna bill hours and not cut me in. I done did all the work. So I said, good morning. As you can see, this is for the hours 312 as of October 2nd from USG, the recruiting agency. And below, TCS has not allowed me to collect the difference between 416 hours. I need an update on when I will be compensated for those unpaid hours. So I was earlier, y'all, I was ranting and raving about 80. They owed me 100 plus. So I said, I need an update when I will be compensated for those unpaid hours and any other hours I work beyond the 40-hour work week. As I stated before in our phone conversation, I was told from TCS that I must make up 80 hours, which Cargill did not pay TCS for training hours. That's what the issue was. The first 2 weeks were training hours. And TCS didn't want to pay for it. They wanted to, I guess Cargill must have told them, you're going to have to take the hit. So TCS tells us, and this is probably why that class action lawsuit came around too, because this was 100% illegal. This was breaking every damn federal law that you could possibly do, but they don't never go to jail. Let a RICO with Diddy or let a RICO with Young Thug, they got, anyway, okay, whatever. That should be a RICO. I mean, if this ain't a criminal organization and a criminal federal law being broken, I don't know what is. Labor law, that's the federal as hell. All right, now, so I said, I need an update. As I stated in our conversation, I have nothing to do with that transaction and not responsible for Cargill not paying TCS, as I am an employee of USG. And I see that I signed an agreement to be paid each hour I work. This agreement includes that I do not go to TCS or Cargill for the issue and that I must come to USG for payment. So I'm going to the most powerful person in the room, according to Neely Fuller says, and I'm like, look, under state and federal law, I must be paid for any working hours, including training, under Minnesota Statutes 177.23 subdivision 7. I wish to have this issue rectified between myself and USG. I will keep track of any hours beyond October 2nd of 2015. Please review this info and confirm receipt. So I showed the hours that I had, and I showed the hours that they billed. You see? And then I sent all that stuff to myself. You're not going to make any friends doing this, y'all. But it ain't about me making friends. It's about doing what's rightfully mine. It didn't affect me getting with TCS again. So we're going to go into that in a minute. So, right here, this is around May. I got one of my buddies an interview at TCS when I got in. And it looks like the base pay was $60K. So maybe I was supposed to get $60K and I ended up with $50. I don't know what happened when I went there permanent or whatnot, but anyway, let's go into when I went there the third time. The third time, but before we do, I want to go back up to the environment a little bit. I didn't remember. I think I might do one more TCS part 3. But if I do, it's just going to be a big an update, and it's going to go into a segue of a completely different storyline. What I will tell you guys, just make sure we recorded still. We're still recording. We're going in at 1 hour. BA Bob. This was when I was in Bloomington for that last time at TCS through Cargill. BA Bob didn't like the fact that I could come in at 8 and leave at 2 or 1 or whatever the case may be, which helped me in the winter. And then I push apps at home because that's what I do. And initially, to honor the contract, that they wanted all these extra hours. Once I started kind of getting in, I decided that, I said, well, let me try to work from home. Once I seen this VPN work from home, I said, well, look, let me do these. So you got to kind of negotiate. Sometimes you're in a position where you're not in the position of power that you need to be in. And sometimes you have to have what my homie Solomon calls healthy negotiations. What was healthy negotiations, DP? Healthy negotiations. I'm saying, okay, I'm being aggrieved, but in order for them to justify keeping me on this project, which was totally illegal and breaking all federal laws on their part, you're having me work extra hours that you need to take care of with your MSP client agreement. I'm going to leverage the opportunity to work remote. So I'm going to come in around 8, 9, whenever. I got to that point. I said, okay, y'all playing dirty. This is like the Shawshank Redemption as Fuller talks about. Okay, you're in further confinement, right? I'm in the confines of an unjust situation. Yeah, I'm getting compensated for my work, but I'm being told that I'm not going to get compensated for, 100 hours of work, 80 plus hours of work. Okay. Instead of me jumping up and, justice, 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 I said, okay, let me plan this. Can I work remote? You make a request. Out to Shawshank Redemption. I'm out to Shawshank Redemption now. Now I'm moving around the prison now. Now I got a key. I could go down to the refrigerator and I could open up and get me a snack. Now I'm still in the confines of an unjust situation. I'm getting paid, but I'm being mistreated. Okay, well, DP, you done found a little loophole. You can work remote. Okay. Can I work more hours? Oh, for sure. As long as you get us our billable hours up. So what I'm going to do is around 2 o'clock, I'm going to come home. I'm going to chill. Then around 6 o'clock, Latin America, China, whatever the case may be, I'm going to start pushing the apps. Now from 6 to 10, or it might be midnight. Yeah, I'm pushing apps, but I'm entertaining myself and looking at certifications and doing other little endeavors I'm working on. So yeah, I'm watching TV. I'm watching TV, or I'm chilling, or whatever I'm doing. And I push a couple little apps, billable time, hours. That's your time. You said you wanted time, you wanted the apps done or whatever like that. Okay, these applications failed. I'm going to reboot the machines when I get in at 8 a.m. tomorrow. And I did that on the weekend too. That's how I got in my billable hours. And I wasn't really doing much anyway. But the point is, they owed me. And they had to get those 100 hours back from Cargill. That really didn't have nothing to do with me. But I could have just left. I could have just took my ego and said, well, I'm not going to do it. And then, I'm looking for another project or looking for other work. It was best for me to stay in that position because it was good for my psyche. I'm still in the grieving point, and I could do something where it's not really that bad. B.A. Bob, he was some PM there. I call him B.A. Bob because I gave y'all the storyline on B.A. Bob. He didn't like, I came in one day and he asked me, I didn't even know him. Hey, what time you get in, and this, that, and the third or whatever. And I'm like, I don't remember what I said to him, but it was something that he really didn't like. It was something that I didn't like. Something that he didn't like the response because maybe my response was supposed to be a little bit more subservient than what it was. And the answer, whatever I gave him, was very vague, and he didn't like it. And I didn't care that he didn't like it. And he knew I didn't care that he didn't like it. So he asked me another question. I later found out he was like a big PM or whatever, but you know, he didn't really manage my project, so there was really no reason for him to ask. What it was a temperature check. Okay, you're on the yard, who are you? Well, who are you? Because if two wolves meet, we gonna have to come to some kind of understanding. So you on the yard now. So what you gonna try to do to me, you gonna try to give me a paperwork check. No, I'm gonna give you one. Yeah, I'm new on the yard, and you've been here a while. But whatever you think you getting ready to do, it ain't gonna go the way you think it's gonna go. He proceeded to ask me more questions, and I did answer those questions. You know, so then he asked me something about when everybody needs to be in office or something like that. And so I cut him off mid-sentence. Because like I say, my patience just, it wasn't there, y'all. It was not where it is today. You know, it just wasn't there. And I didn't really know how to deal with it in the corporate environment, dealing with folks like that. Because if somebody would have did that to me, you know, on the street or something like that, they might have got slapped or something. You know what I'm saying? Most people ain't gonna do that. But I'm just saying, if somebody would have but I'm in the corporate environment, and the way you're talking to me is just not, it's not sitting well. My younger self coming in, when I was dealing with BA Bobs and Trailer Trash Bob and stuff, I'm still paying my dues. I started getting a little better, getting some more skills, and my swords and my sword and my steel is sharpened a little bit more. I'm not just gonna be talked to like I'm the help. I was brought onto this project because I had a skill set that they wanted, and they were happy with the work I was doing. Nobody really complained. Nobody. They just wanted it done faster. You know what I'm saying? So he's asking questions. He's just going all like, I mean, he started to sound like the police after a while. So I say, cut off mid-sentence. Who do you report to? Oh, I report to Deepak. But oh, so Deepak's your boss? Yeah, man, yeah. And when we're supposed to be in at this certain time or whatever. I said, okay, holler at Deepak if you got an issue. Oh, he didn't like that at all. That I'm white not say so went down the drain real quick. I just seen the look on his face. And I didn't say it with like a, yeah, you know, holler at Deepak smile. It was kind of like how I'm looking right now. Holler at Deepak. And I looked at him just like this. Holler at Deepak if you got an issue. You know, we'll work that out. You know. By the way, I said, how's your project going? His project was going janky. So that might have been one of the issues too. But like I said, I didn't care. And I walked back to my desk. And what I did, he sat in a way, he kind of sat somewhere where when you come in, he could kind of paperwork check everybody that's coming in. Because I don't know, he just brought that I'm white and I say so to a different level. I'm going to find out who's coming in and what time and all that. And nobody asked him to do that. But he just wants to be the guard dog of the office. And you need to focus on your projects. You're a PM. Don't worry about when I'm coming in. I'm not on your project. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it was little stuff like that. But other than that, it was one other incident, but not so much as directed towards me. But it was some Indian guy that a shot got into. And they don't usually get into it like that. But dude was very, very abrasive. And that's when a shock sent that scathing long email. He kind of read them their rights, and he packed up his laptop one day because they wanted him to do more and more overtime and everything, and he was doing a lot of stuff for that project, but he didn't feel like he was being compensated. And he was like, okay, yeah, I'm here on this little, I don't think he was really here at that point on a sponsor, but he was like, man, I'll go back home. Ain't no work in Springfield, Illinois or Rockford, Illinois, but I'll go back home. He didn't care. He just had it. And then he pulled me to the side. Derek, I see why you're so revolutionary. I see why you have the revolutionary spirit. You tell these people how you feel. Like, I see that. He said, it does not paint to turn the other cheek. You know, so he's going on. He's getting on his Malcolm X right now. He's mad because at first he was like, shh, you're going to get this in trouble. So he was on the good trouble stuff, and I was like, no, fuck that. I said, man, these folks supposed to be doing this, that, and the third. You promised this, and I promised this. I said I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do it. And you promised this, and you said you're gonna do it, and now you ain't doing it. I'm big on that. Anybody knows me, I'm big on, don't say you're gonna do something and not do it. You see what I'm saying? So he snaps that day. He snapped on the Indian team lead that was getting on us. That was towards maybe October, November, December, or what. And but no, that dude, he never talked to me again after that. He just looks at me and stuff. Yeah. Mind your business. Mind your very slothful project that's not working out. Mind that. I'm over here at the Convoy project and I'm flying. You sitting up in your desk. I'm flying out here to these little sundown towns and you ain't got to say nothing to me. Mind your business, sir. B.A. Bob, with your janky mustache and your cheap little TJ Maxx suit. Mind that. So, I moved towards the window. You know, oh, you got a window seat there. Yeah. I like the light. I like how the light shines on my hair, on my Black American hairline. I like the light. So I moved over there by the window or something like that. He didn't like that either. Oh, he's over there and he got a seat by the window. But nobody had assigned seats. It was so kindergarten. Nobody had assigned seats. He could have moved over there, but see, he's far away from his projects. He has people that he works with that he manages and stuff like that. So that was one little thing. This is a long one, y'all. I told you I was going to go on a deep dive. I told you exactly how I was going to tell everything about this project. Make sure the camera's good. So Iowa. I told y'all about going in the subway. So the experience when I went to Iowa, 60 miles from Des Moines or wherever it was, cornfields, and now it's getting a little dark. I pull into Iowa. It's these fat, sloppy security guards. It felt like a so-called backwoods Alabama kind of thing. It's what you would see in the stereotypical South. You know, you get to this little pork place. I have my laptop in my backpack. Got my phone ready to tether my phone. Soon as I pull into the place, when I get to the front, the welcome, I'll say, was far from welcoming. There was flies buzzing all around and all this, and I'm like, man, what the hell going on here? We ain't even into the slaughterhouse yet, but there's flies, and they just sitting there like the flies ain't bothered. It was disgusting. It just looked. Man, I don't know, man. I don't even know how to. But the place, I'm gonna find the name. I cannot remember what the name is. Let's see if we can look it up, y'all. Let's see if we can look it up. I'm gonna close this YouTube right here, and let's see if we can look up to Des Moines, Iowa, and let's see if we can find. Let's open this up in maps. And let me see if I can find where this was. So here's the airport right here. But a homie of mine, this older guy, he was telling me that his baby mom was from there or something like that, this place. So let me go into Cargill, Iowa. And I'm gonna see if I can find where it was at. It wasn't East Des Moines. Yeah, it was somewhere far out. That's not it. Cargill, Iowa, port. Because it was a port location, I believe. Was it Fremont, Iowa? Uh-oh. Oh. Dayton, no. Was it Hedrick, Iowa? Atuma? Man. So they had a new one. Let me see. Was it Hedrick, Iowa? Hosting a dedication event May 12th in honor of its new $29 million 15-story feed. The new facility, man, this is it right here. I'll never forget. This had to have been it. The new facility, along with its recently completed $25 million pork processing facility in Ottumwa. I think it was Ottumwa, man, because it was 60 miles out. Man, I think it was Ottumwa. I think it was Ottumwa, man. I think it was. Let me see if it was. Let me just see. I really do. This how we gonna know. I think it was Ottumwa, Iowa. It was a ways out. Hold on. I'm trying to get it right, y'all. Man, I'm trying to see Cargill. Jeez. It wasn't Eddie. I don't think, was it Eddyville? This looks like, I don't know, man. It looks like the building. I think it was Ottumwa. I think it was. That sounds so, man. Let me look this up. I think it was. I think it was Ottumwa, y'all. Because that sounds very, very familiar. Let me see if I can look up Iowa right here and just see if I see something. But it was about maybe 80 to 60 miles away. Well, hold on. Des Moines Airport. See, there's really no way for me to tell. I could probably find it, but yeah. So October 4th, I went to Des Moines. And that's when I went to that little subway. That's when I went to that little subway, y'all. So I know we going on a deep dive. I know you kind of like, well, damn, you know what I'm saying? You just going in, DP. But Ottumwa, I'm 100% sure it was Ottumwa. So I get in there. I can't wait to get out there. And when I got there, it was dark. So I think it was about 60 to 80 miles. I think it was around 60 to 80 miles. I drove a while. It was nothing but cornfields and cornfields and cornfields. And it's the kind of place it looked like, if y'all ever seen the Scary Stories, the Beyond Scary Stories, Scarecrow, whatever, it just reminded me of that. It was starting to get dark when I got there. And I had to wait until the IT dude got himself together. He wasn't even there, I guess. He was doing something else. So I had to wait another half hour. And just the way that the people were treating me, I thought the way I was treated in Iowa, or I thought it was gonna be real funny style in Missouri. I thought it was gonna be real funny style in Missouri. And it was kind of open arm. I was a little surprised. But when I got to Iowa, I couldn't wait to get up out of there. I couldn't wait to get up out of there. I finally met the IT dude. I plugged into this console. I said, man, let me log into the VPN. I wasn't trying to do a bunch of small talk. I introduced myself. I said, man, okay, we done. I'm out. Fly back to Des Moines. I don't even know if I did. Let me see. This how I'm gonna know how long I was in Iowa. So I got to Iowa. I didn't really want to be overnight. I don't think I flew out. I flew out in the morning, got there. I don't even think I rented a hotel there. Let me see. Yeah, my pickup time was supposed to be October 4th, 9:30. And that's another thing I want to tell y'all about travel. And some of y'all may not have traveled for work in the last 4 or 5 years, whatever, because of the pandemic. But man, this was a good time for me, man. It really, really got, even I was getting up early and transferring to Chicago and all that, man. I had a lovely time, y'all. Outside of the small little things that they was doing with the timesheets and stuff like that, that position was a real blessing. I had to get on their ass about it. That's why I was passionate about it, because they play those games sometimes. But man, I had a really, really good damn time, man. I had an excellent time, just going through, it was my first time, a couple times going through Chicago airport. Huge. You could damn near get lost. It's humongous at O'Hare. I really enjoyed it. I would have did more. And that's why I say to brothers and sisters, especially the brothers, even if you're going to some of these little funny towns, they wanted me to go to Texas too. Man, they sent a shock down to Texas. I didn't really want to go because I kind of looked at where it was at, but he went. He said it was cool, but he had to go to a couple different. He was way out. He was in somewhere, but they were going to put me in Texas. I was supposed to go to, was it Wisconsin? It was somewhere else, but they didn't get me together with my plane ticket in time. But I would have did that. Like if they would have told me, well, you're going to do this for the next 6 months. You're going to start flying out and doing all this and just, plugging in the console cable. I think I'm going to take the console cable and I'm going to make that I'm going to make a little artwork, a little AI artwork. So, yeah, man, when I went out there to Des Moines, like I say, you got to check in sometimes. So I checked in the subway. I found a black. I said, okay, a lot of black folks in Des Moines. Let me let some black folks know where I'm going. I'm going to Ottumwa. They're Ottumwa. And they kind of looked at me like, why are you going out there? And I said, because it was some sisters that worked the subway, and then they had the the white girls that try to look like the sisters and talk like them or whatever. And they hang with. She looked like they date brothers. You know what I'm saying? So when I told them I'm going out to Ottumwa, the white woman was like, "You going to Ottumwa for what?" And she was kind of looking at me like, it's kind of dark, like. And I said, hey, I said, y'all know something about that? I don't know. They're like, man, we don't go out there like that. Like, we ain't got no reason to go out there. I said, well, look, I'm buying this sandwich. Y'all see me. Just in case, I'm by myself, and so I just kind of checked in. I checked in with them. I bought a sandwich and I said, look, I'm from out of town. I don't know y'all town like that, because when I came into the subway, they was kind of looking and choosing a little bit. Like, hey, I ain't never seen you around here. They knew I was from out of town. When you a brother and you kind of got your stuff together, and I'm married now, but when you kind of got your self together, man, and you traveling and stuff, that's why I tell brothers, man, like when I be trying to hook them up with jobs, I said, man, let the earth be your turf and the globe be your road. Bars. Let the earth be your turf and the globe be your road. Furious bars. I'm gonna have to patent that. Yeah, that's gonna let the earth be your turf and the, and globe be your road. You gonna have to travel in order to move and shake things. You're gonna see that in different places, man, folks is a little different. You know what I'm saying? I looked like I had my business together. I had my little, I didn't have nothing like this on. I had my little polo and my little vest or whatever. I looked like I was handling business. They go, who this nigga is? Who this? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I mean, I'm doing field support. I got to go out here to Cargill. I didn't look at it like it was going to be a potential somebody try to set me up or nothing like that. I feel safer. And I think the subway I went to, it was like kind of close by. I don't know if it was in the hood or whatever, but I know it was a place where black people frequent more often than where I'm going. So I'm going to connect with some people like that. I'm going to let them know where I'm at because, I'm coming into a town that I don't know nothing about. I think I had some relatives in Des Moines, but I didn't. I think I did. I had an uncle or an aunt that still was in Des Moines. I think so. I think I had an aunt that was still in Des Moines, I believe. But I didn't really have no time to go see her or whatever like that. Maybe I should have tried to, that would have been good. But the last thing I think I'll tell y'all about when I was out there Cargill with TCS is they tried to say before I handed in my laptop that I had 2 laptops in my name. I don't know where they got that from, just like they messed up my paycheck address with my coworker. But I got that straightened out. Me and the Shock, man, I was kind of sad to see him leave a little bit because I think he was going back to Springfield. He was done with the project alongside me. I think that scathing email he sent to TCS, that might have blackballed him a little bit, because usually in those environments, a lot of times, a lot of them Indian guys, they they just kind of go along with the program. And I don't know if he kind of picked that up from me, but when he starts seeing that I started making demands to be treated the right way in terms of how the business goes, that might have rubbed off on him. That, I don't know, that Friedman energy might have rubbed off on him. He done had him a little Curry Friedman energy. It might have, so he started to kind of, I noticed once I started saying, no, man, this is, and so, when he got into it with one of the PMs or whatnot, there was something they were supposed to have me do. And at that time, I had no idea what to do. And I started thinking, well, man, they might take me off this project because the training was so lackluster. And the way they trained us initially, the guy that was training us had a real nasty attitude. It was the first time I experienced that, as far as the Indian population. Usually they kind of just, but man, it was a real nasty attitude. And it wasn't just me. It was just, I don't know what it was, but I was kind of like, well, man, we ain't gonna get nothing done. If this isn't a constructive situation, man, we're not gonna get this done. And his attitude was kind of like, man, like the paper, just shoved the paper or whatever. So I was like, okay, this ain't gonna work. But he had a lot of power. And I think he was frustrated because he was being, asked to manage too much or whatnot. But, it didn't sit well with a Shock. I thought the Shock was just going to be like, whatever. But Shock snapped. He snapped. I swear the email, I wish I could find that. He snapped. The email was like this long. And then he shut his laptop and sat there like this for like 2 hours that day. Sat there and ate his little curry rice. I looked over at him. He's sitting there and he had that little nose and he'd be hunched over, he's hunched over and shit like he was hunched over, and he'd have his little, he'd always bring his lunch. He would never get no lunch anywhere else. And I'd always bring my lunch because I didn't ever want to leave the building. We were on American Boulevard. And he was hunched over like this. He had his arm folded like he was easy or something. And he just sitting there like, and I look over at him. He says, I'm done. They're not telling me what to do. I do too much. They can send me back to Rockford or Springfield or wherever. So send me back to Rockford. He wasn't having it. Because I think he was renting an apartment out there too. And he still had his house. He had a house that he owned in Illinois. And so, they did him wrong. They did him real wrong. But before we go to the part about Boston Scientific, we gonna have to get into that. I told y'all this gonna be a long one. We gonna need some more light for this. Let me open up the light. We need a little more light for this. Yeah, so what ended up happening with when I went to TCS, that started April 2016. I'm gonna try to make this one a little shorter because I want to, get this going for y'all. I worked April 2016 to August 22nd. August 22nd was my final day. So initially, we were told, and just like it always happens with TCS, we were told that this was going to be like a desktop support position. They started wanting us to do stuff that the desktop people were doing and support the sales team, and we were supposed to just be for the sales team. So but they really kept adding on more and more duties and more, and I'm just like, okay, they keep adding on more and more stuff. That's why you got to get the highest rate you can if you come in permanent. Otherwise, if I were you, just contract for TCS. Just keep contracting. Because once you go on permanent, once they lock you in, there's not going to be any, they're very, very cheap. They're very cheap when it comes to, they don't want to give you any more than they have to. They want to lock you in right there and then put you wherever you need to be. So they got me at the rate, it might have been 50, 60, or 60. I think it was 50. I can't remember what it was. But I told y'all it was very volatile. It was a very volatile situation. Not so much. TCS protects their investment. If you go in and talk about the employees at Boston Scientific, they're not really tripping. They're just gonna let them do what they do. And this was a real BA Bob. He was a BA, and he was very, very, one day he tried to make a Fat Albert joke about me or something like that. I wasn't having it. Oh, I wasn't having it. I didn't go to HR, nothing. I checked him right there. I told you they had the Sambo set on me. He up there talking about rap albums and all this kind of stuff, and then I found out that he was a super Sambo. So he comes in. They set him on to kind of monitor me. I started calling in sometimes because I knew where this was going, and I had other prospects at the time that could pay me a lot more to further my career, which I did. And so let's go back up to my resume. So we'll break that down a little bit. But me and the BA, and especially the guys in Maple Grove, start talking crazy. Yeah, the guys in Maple Grove start talking crazy. And we had at least 2 people I felt that were subverting us. No, it was 3. There was an incident one day where we had the iPads and we were being trained on those. And there was a desktop guy that came in, and the brother, the suspected Sambo, he's playing with the iPad. I guess he grabs one of the iPad because he's looking at it, because we're going to be training on these things, so we got to know. And the dude tells him, he kind of shouts at him, "Put that down," or "Don't touch that," or something like. He said it kind of like that. And the black dude kind of cowered. He cowered real hard. And so, I started looking at this like, okay, we ain't got to take that. Now, the Asian guy was basically on some let it roll on your back and stuff like that. Like I said, they're not fighting against white supremacy. They're not even trying to say anything when there's an injustice. They're just letting it and it was just the way he said it and the tone he used and the volume that he used was so ferocious. And the Sambo gets started kind of having like this little nervous grin with these little beady eyes and his little goofy glasses, and he just kind of just casually sat it down, and I think the white dude snatched it from him, kind of something like that. And the white dude kind of walked away, and he said something under his breath talking about they shouldn't be touching this or something like that. So I think I said something. Like, I don't remember what it was. I said something. And everybody was so damn terrified to say something. And I must have said something like to the guys, and I'm like, man, does this dude do this all the time or whatever? I said, because if he don't want us touching the iPads, because I didn't want to support him anyway. That was an extra thing, an extra layer that they were adding on to the project that we weren't really being compensated for. It's just they try to do, we were full-time TCS, but you're acting as contractors because you're supporting the client, which is Boston Scientific. So I could tell as these guys are berating us more and more and more and more, we're asking questions. I told you the desktop guy, there was a white lady, she was a trainer, and she was real cool. She was asking our questions. She was training us on their little janky remedy ticketing system and everything. And she was super cool. So she was like, if you got any questions or whatever. So we start to get ready to ask questions. And in the middle of the room, they'll cut her off. I get ready to ask a question. They'll cut her off and they'll say, well, just do it like this. Real condescending or whatever like that. And so at that point, I said, you know what? Yeah, that's about to, yeah, I'm not dealing with that no more. And so they weren't really doing that to the white guys. There was a big white dude that had glasses and he looked like one of them little rocker dudes, looked like he would play for Nirvana or whatever. They didn't talk to him like that, I noticed. But at the same time, you know, he didn't really, but no, they didn't talk to him like that. One day TCS was playing with his money and something didn't work right. He got up right in front of the whole group or whatever in the middle of the meeting and said, hey, TCS ain't gave me my bread. He said, obviously they don't know how this works. And he must have called HR right in front of us. And he said, I ain't doing shit until they pay. Nothing. And it puts TCS in a weird position because they got to have another contractor to fill that place. If he gets quit right then and there, they still getting billed. They're still billing and they still have to provide a resource. So that happened. They eventually straightened him out that day, but he kind of set the tone. But me and him and only the other guy were the only people that really, you know. So eventually what happened was they started talking about the iPads and the guys kind of shoving the iPads towards us and giving us the iPad. Now I must have told the desktop guy by the way they was acting. I said, I don't want it. I'll just use the virtual thing. I said, if y'all yelling at folks for not being able to touch it, I don't even want that shit. Don't give me no damn iPad. I'm good. So he set it on the desk anyway or whatever. And I shoved that shit off to the side. You know what I'm saying? Like I moved it. Like I'm serious. I don't want it. If you're telling us that we can't touch it and you're not going to apologize and get straight, because see, it became an ongoing thing. The abuse got worse and worse and worse to the point where they brought in another new manager. And now they wouldn't do stuff in front of him. He was like a Law and Order. He looked like Rahm Emanuel. He looked just like him. But eventually, like I said, there was a sales call that went bad. And then this happened right here. Let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna find it here. Okay. This happened right here. Told y'all it would be a long one. Do not auto. Let me see. No auto. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Okay, I'm just gonna have to do it. No auto in. I'm gonna have to find it this way. All right, so this happened on June 22nd. June 23rd, I got this. I sent it to myself. From tomorrow, from next notice, do not auto into the Avaya system. You could come in and log into the phone, but remain on the meeting. I will discuss the reason. So basically, what ended up happening. What ended up happening, y'all, this dude, I'll give y'all another breakdown on TCS real quick. This dude had me sit at the table with everybody. Normally, like, we're getting ready to log in and take calls. Don't take no calls. So I sat there for a couple days. I knew where this was going. So I opened up my email. Now the desktop guy want to get friendly. He comes along, the guy from Maple Grove, he comes along. He looked like Colty. Y'all seen the 90 Day Fiance or whatever? I was watching with my wife. He looked like Colty. He looked just like Colty. You know that dude that lived with his mom? I don't know if y'all watch that stuff. My wife be watching it, so I know some of the characters. But he looked like a big, fat, sassy Colty. He looked just like him, just big and sloppy. He looked just like him. Always talking about his motorcycles and his Harleys. He comes in. He's trying to be extra nice now because they got a new manager in town that he wanted to go back to Maple Grove. He didn't want to come out here to Arden Hills and help us. And that manager one day was going to go back out there and handle some stuff. And so he says, hey, I want to come back out there and the Rahm Emanuel dude. He said, oh, no, you can stay there. And I could see the look on his face like, damn, man, I don't want to be out here with these little contractors. He comes up to me while I'm not taking any calls and says, I guess he must have seen my email. And, like I say, during this time, man, 2016, 2017, towards, late, mid the second quarter, 2014 and stuff, it was, you were always getting calls. You getting calls back to back, contract after just non-stop IT positions. You could leave one and be at another tomorrow. I opened up I kind of knew what time it was. So like I say, we was getting mistreated so bad. And I didn't, at that point, I had already started looking. So I must have been looking through my emails and, and stuff like that. And he must have looked over and then he came real close to my screen and was looking. Oh, you're looking for something or whatever. I said, what's it to you? Yeah, at that point, I just got real flipped at the lip. I just got super flipped because they were so disrespectful. And I knew I was getting up out of there. So I said, okay, the hell with them. I didn't give a damn at that point. I had it up to here. So, I ended up going to, they had that little meeting. And when they came in, they were just, I could tell that the Sambo had did a lot of informing on me. He said, okay, well, DP's looking for new work. He's taking time off. I don't know what he's doing. And so when they came in like the feds. They came in like, they started asking these vague questions. And so eventually I just got to the point, because they thought that I was just going to fold under pressure and ask for forgiveness. Man, hell with that. Cut my check and let me know, and I'll just go sign up for my unemployment and I'm going to go keep doing what I do. So I tell them. Eventually, when they kept asking all this vague stuff and they start kind of wagging their finger at me, we're really unhappy with this, we're really unhappy with that. I said, well, you know what? It is making us look bad and all that. I said, you know what? Same here. I'm not happy with the way these folks was doing. So I started naming all the stuff that was going on. Oh, well, this is the client or whatever. I said, you guys are empowering a very disenfranchising and discriminatory environment. You're being told that this has happened. I am not the only person that said this. And you're just saying, well, this is the client, so we just going to override it. I said, if y'all ain't careful, you might end up with a lawsuit by somebody. I said, because you're allowing, what y'all are kind of doing is illegal. They're allowing blatant harassment in the work environment where there has been some racially charged comments. There's been some things that has broke ethics from left to right. So then they start talking about, well, your PTO time and you didn't. I told them, I said, I don't want to hear. I said, when they start talking about this, well, this was illegal that you did, or you did something like this. I said, fire me. Am I fired? Oh, no. See, once I walk away from the project, They had some contract with Boston Scientific where they had to still provide. They want to build, so I have to be there for them to build, and they have to come up with another replacement. So they said, well, we'll put you on another project. I said, why don't you just let me go? When I said that, I said, you know what? I think I'm about to find something else. I'm about to look. So I really gets talking flip at the lip then. I start talking to them crazy. I said, I don't give a fuck about this job. I said, fire me. Man, they didn't like that. I told them I don't give a damn about this shit. I said, give me. I got ready to get up. I said, just give me my here's my badge. Oh no. Don't sit down, Derek. Sit down. No. What if I do another project? When they start talking like that. So I had to exert power. Now I didn't know what was getting ready to happen. They said, well, just come in and just sit at the other desk. So they sat me at a desk because remember, it was almost like the Pentagon. They had like a help desk that was in the middle of somewhere. And the Sambo nigga used to always eat at the lunch table and he bring his little Asian girlfriend up in there. He was one of them type niggas. Anyway, so, anything for interracial sexual access and a pat on the head, he was good. He was ready to sell me down a river for almost nothing, for no reason. So, and I confronted him about that too. And I said, man, if you gonna tap dance and step infection, man, they gonna give you a raise? Oh no, man, they give you a raise. He talking about Wale and rap and all this, trying to be all cool and this old step infection, butter biscuit plantation. I don't even want to say the word. He one of them. And I said, bro, man, if you gonna throw me under the bus, get something. You see what I'm saying? Get something out of the deal. You ain't getting nothing. So they couldn't use him no more to undermine me. So I literally sat, where we come in, you got to have a badge. And they literally built a help desk sales support department. People can't just walk in, but eventually they were going to start letting, employees walk in and bring their laptops and desktop. They were forging a desktop help desk sales support environment where we're overloaded with calls. And plus we're doing a lot of the desktop support there. That's what they were doing, all for the price of a janky price. And, I had started looking automatically and stuff. So they sat me in a different environment, which was on, I think, the second floor. So I just come up and I just sit in front of this laptop, and I did that for like a week. And so after a while, I said, well, look, while y'all looking for me but they still had the bill. I said, while y'all looking for another project for me, I'm about to go do some IT certification training at home. I could do that at the crib. So eventually I just started going home, started interviewing for this Citrix administration place. Maybe I'll make a story about it. I don't know. I might just leave that for the books. Y'all could get that up in here. BeingBlackandIT.com. I do this, y'all. I've been a little bit too humble. I do this. I'm about to start talking my SHI in a minute. I'm about to do that for real. So what ended up happening, I got an offer to do Citrix support, and I did that for a number of years. Do y'all know they had to keep paying me? August 22nd was my last day. They had to pay me for another 17 days. That was the deal. They probably had located other people to hire on a TCS. Then I got a letter talking about a class action lawsuit. So I contacted them about that just recently because it was years ago. I'm not just babbling about this. Am I lying, people? Am I lying? Mumbai-based IT firm Tata Consultancy Services has targeted older American workers for termination at its operations to make room for foreign workers on temp visas, according to a federal lawsuit. I'm not lying. Everything I said was true. They were breaking the fucking law. The company known as TCS is one of the largest users of H-1B specialty occupation. Me personally, if I was Donald J, I would eradicate all of it. Get you some foundational blacks and get you American white folk for all I care. Get whoever here. Get some of your stuff here and cut that in half. Get them folks up out of here. Because they broke a federal law. The company is one of the largest users of H-1B visa or H-1B specialty occupation visas in the tech industry. They're breaking the law. They defended itself against litigation, accusing of it unlawfully favoring South Asian workers who aren't U.S. citizens. The complaint filed Tuesday by former employee Randy DeVorn alleges that TCS has pushed out older white workers in favor of thousands of recent graduates on temporary work visas. The 61-year-old DeVorn was terminated as part of layoffs at TCS in 2023 after 10 years. Now, the class action lawsuit I got, that was before 2023. This is the United States District Court, Southern District of Florida, West Palm Beach, civil action, Randy DeVorn versus Tata. That was in 2023. He opened this up, but the class action lawsuit I got wasn't. I don't believe that was 2023. That was many years ago. I kind of ignored it. I think I got the letter and really didn't pay no mind because I was getting some money somewhere else. But I could have sworn was it 2023? I could have sworn I got a letter about that before. $210 million for trade secret misappropriation. These folks was doing all kind of crimes. Young Thug and Diddy. Look what these Negroes are doing. Where is the RICO for them? Yeah. Systematic violations of the rights of U.S. of its non-U.S. citizen workers. This was in 2006 by some Indians. They've been doing this. They've been doing this, y'all. 2022. Preferring South Asian race and Indian national origin in its employment violation. This dude says he's a U.S. citizen of Israelite national. Okay, so this guy might have been Jewish. He worked for TCS for 9 years. He was never promoted by TCS. They try to give y'all the Negro treatment. Man, please. See, y'all probably thought I was just making this up. Yeah, y'all probably thought I was just belly aching about all this, about my pay rates and you renting on the Indian folk and all that. Y'all probably thought I was belly aching. I told y'all I do this. I get it done. Receipts after receipts after receipt. They was doing all kind of stuff and they're still in business. They're still in business, sir. They are still in business. I just want to let's just browse through the website a little bit. I'm not hating on nobody. I'm just saying they're still doing business. Got their little marathon going on. Let's look at the careers. Now, let's just look at the Americas and just look at the careers real quick. Let's just see what they got. We build a future you believe in. Let me apply now. Now they said I can't apply again. I asked about that class action lawsuit. I want my money. Yeah, it's old, but I want to see if I get my bread. Now, you got to search for the jobs. Beware of fake job offers. Oh, of course. I'm just going to type in USA. Let's do a job search. Let's see what they got. Nothing. Okay. No, no jobs. All right, maybe I'm not doing it right. Let me just type in search. Okay, there we go. So they got cybersecurity, Austin, Texas, Wisconsin, Oracle, SQL. That's a thing that's common now. AWS, because they say AI is taking everything. SAP, that was a big thing there. Yeah, while they were telling American workers, hey, we're good. So yeah, you got to know some stuff with these, rightfully so. Data science, a lot of that stuff. But if you're gonna come in, like I say, y'all, come in as a contractor. Come in as a contractor. That's what I recommend. You're a young brother or sister, come in as a contractor. Now, I'm going to show you this one position that I was going to, that I sent this brother that I'm working with. Let me see. Let me find it. Let's see here. There we go. Now this is with Boston Scientific. Now, let me grab it. Okay. Let me see if is it on the screen? Yep, it's on the screen. So real quick, y'all, we gonna end this. This is an audio visual technician. What you're probably gonna be doing is dealing with like Microsoft Teams, as they say, web meetings, scheduled video conferences. You're probably gonna be supporting some mid-level executives, some higher ups and stuff like that. And I basically told the brother, he comes from a data analyst position. This might be a good break-fix situation where you could just troubleshoot. This is a good skill set because they're going to need people for video conferencing equipment and things of that nature. It's 100% on site. That one is probably in the same place I was at in Arden Hills. It's $25 an hour. It ain't much. But like I told the brother, I said, look, man, you come in as a contractor, rub a few elbows, and try to get them to place you somewhere else. And then you have your experience now. And then you say, hey, I support an infrastructure test environment. You use the same thing and do brother chat to redo your resume and be done. We believe in your future. But just to let you know, when you go on here to their little site, let me see. Unlocking the CMO partners, global cloud study. Let me look into that. I'm trying to find something here. DEI. Interesting. What do they say about their DEI? 600,000 employees, 152 nationalities, mostly Asian, 35% women, 88% millennials. Okay. DEI that they're talking about stripping out. Okay. Well, look, I gave y'all the TCS breakdown. Look at it as a government position. You might be able to go in there, and once you get your role on and you're doing the work itself is dependent upon the client. Your first couple weeks, it's going to be hell getting credentials. That's how they get down. You could make your mark getting a skill set, You just do your same position day in, day out, and it's, it's continuous bread. It's pretty much working like I was told. It's working like the government. Like the brother told me, he said it's a steady check and it's like a government job. You might be here 3 years or whatever. The first time me going in there, like I say, I probably should have just went ahead and took the knowledge. If you ever hear what they call, they're not going to call it a business analyst position. They're going to call it knowledge acquisition transfer. If you ever see that, or they mention anything that you suspect it to be something like that, take it. Because they're going to need that. They're going to need people to, when they're replacing people, because obviously they haven't stopped. That, I don't think that lawsuit, they probably gets paid the bread and then it gets kept going. But any position with TCS. See, the issues that I was telling y'all about, a lot of that was people that were on the client side. At Boston Scientific, that was the client side. The Cargill people, I didn't really deal with them too much. When I was at Cargill, I just dealt with one team. I didn't even have to leave the office. I didn't have to go anywhere. So I was remotely pushing apps from my chair, and I just go home. So I dealt with BA Bob a few times or whatever, but I really didn't. Once I had my list, and that's the kind of position you want. You want a position where you can do your work and go home and get a high rate. And you ain't got to deal with a bunch of garbage. They're saying that Elon and them is wanting people to come back in office. So here comes the politics, black folks. If we're gonna have to deal with that anyway, but you're going to have to deal with the politics. So I'm gonna upload this, man. I gave y'all the whole expose, the TCS breakdown. I told you everything that I saw that happened, the legalities, the things that was going on. Like I said, if you see something with TCS, you a young brother or sister in the game, or you've been out of work for a while and a position opens, you go in there, get your roll on. I will contract, especially if you do a 1099. But if you're not, see if you get the highest rate for contract. I wouldn't really even be bothered with a hire, because you could contract forever. Once you work permanent, they said they can't use you again. I probably would have went back. I don't take it personal. I didn't take it personal. When they started messing with my money, I took it personal, but they paid. But when I was, the last time I was there, like I say, it was a crappy position dealing with the people I was dealing with. But if they, I would have did another position through them. I didn't have no problem with them. I've worked with them again at other positions. When I was a Six-Rich admin, I worked with people in different environments that were TCS contractors and stuff like that. I've worked with them before, after that. Not directly, but I ain't had no issue, so no hair on my back. But they got some kind of thing where they won't, if you work permanent, you can't get back in there. They ask you, a lot of these Indian recruiters will ask you, hey, if you worked with them before, did you work permanent before? Yeah, I did. Okay, we can't use you. So I advise you to contract and get the highest rate you can, and get contract through TCS and have the agency pay you. So that's it, y'all. We're going to wrap this up. I'm going to upload it. This was long, but it is what it is. 2 hours, that is. I might have to break this down in part 1 and part 2. I don't know. Y'all make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Get the only codified guide and attempt to solve the tech employment problem in Black America. There is no other IT book coming from the Black American freedman experience on the planet. And if I'm lying, you show that to me, and I'll send you a book for free. I'm naming that claim. Over and out, y'all. All right, so one thing I forgot to do from last time, you guys, I'm gonna add this to the video. This was the resume that I was using on those contracts. Now, if you look, I kind of started my career off. I didn't put the internship at the very beginning. That was the first internship with a nonprofit. That was the first 1 year internship I had. And then I took a 4-month contract right here. This when things started really getting real for me, 2008. And I was just imaging desktops, using Dameware, replacing desktop stuff like that. That's all I pretty much did. Then I opened up my own store right here. All right. Then I worked in Burnsville doing Apple Mac support for a while, and I went straight into the Windows 7 migrations. I'll kind of break these down bit by bit. I'm gonna do a broadcast about that. After I did the Windows migrations, I did that last deployment with AIG team lead, and then I got right into the TCS stuff. Now, in between there, I was at, I did the TCS permanently after here, but this was my bread and butter. This was the change in my career. Right here, I went from 25 to 37 an hour. You know what I mean? So, and during that same time, I got a couple, certifications, and this was this was my bread and butter resume during that time. So, just wanted y'all to see that, during it, so we can use context in that time when I talk about the migrations and things of that nature. So, we'll break this down a little further next time.